Welcome back.
To Marriage Beyond the Veil. Well, today's been a really wonderful day. I've had some time to talk to some of my clients. But I was talking to one of them, and she's 10 months in being widowed. And she was sharing with me how she was really glad that she was able to move out of the home that they had lived in together. And she was beginning to now feel like she could move on or just start to experience some joy again in her life.
When you say move on, what do you mean move out of the home?
Well, she moved out of the home, but
Okay.
when I say joy, she had pretty much just been in a space where, just the memories and that kind of
Just
stuff.
processing.
Yes,
everything.
and she had some health challenges she was also fighting as well, but she's doing much better. The flip side of that is I have some others who have chosen to stay in the space that they shared with their passed away spouse. And I was wondering, if I were to pass away tomorrow, would you want to stay in the space or would you want to move out of the space?
I don't really think that for me it would have much to do with your passing as much as I wouldn't need so much space. So it would just become a practical kind of a choice, I think. But I can see where being in a familiar place, it could be challenging as well as comforting. So I can see both sides of that. But for me, and I think you notice about me, most decisions I would make would just be practical ones. And so there you have it.
Okay. For myself, I think I would probably choose to stay in the space in our house right now. I might make some changes or whatever, to sort of switch a few things around, but I don't know that I would be ready to leave.
Well, when you've lived in a place for so long, it holds a lot of memories, and it could be some challenging memories. It could be some really wonderful memories, and I just think that how it impacts one determines how comfortable or uncomfortable that place can be. Like I said, I can see both sides. I can see where remembering and reminiscing can be very comforting, but it can also be very challenging because every time you turn, okay, this is where the person used to be, and this is what they used to do, and and all of that. So again, you can see the pros and the cons. And so it would just depend upon, I believe, how much peace one has with the ability after their spouse has transitioned.
Yes.
Whether it's a more painful or a peaceful kind of opportunity, and I really think that it gets back to how much one focuses on the event of the death or celebrating the life. And I think more times than not, people tend to focus on the event of the death as opposed to really celebrating the life. And of course, that's easier said than done, and I understand that. But that's where I try to reside with people that I love, family, friends, when they transition. I try not to really just focus on the event of the transition of their life, but the impact of their life, the love, the laughter, the lessons, all those wonderful things that were shared.
I love that you said the practicality, whether the house was too big or too small, because inevitably it could be your children, it could be your children, it could be your family home, it could be any of those. So it could be a challenge either way. But just wanted to throw that out there because I thought it was something that everybody will face at some point in time. So,
inevitably, unless you go together.
That's right.
So until tomorrow, if the Lord says the same.
Have a good evening.